This is News Punch, a news and current affairs compilation of topical story headlines making the rounds. I am your host, Nedu Okori. You're welcome. And in today's forms, federal government to fast-track cash transfers to 15 million households. Don't create one-party state through backdoor, Jonathan warns. From NNPP to APC. And in Anambra State, 18-year-old apprentice allegedly impregnates 10 girls in 5 months. And lastly, on the local scene, police present graphic evidence in court against suspected killers of Kwara students. And moving on to the folk, as cardinals hold first vote for next pope. And moving into the world of sports, PSG defeats Arsenal, progress to Champions League final. Flying Eagles draw 2-2 against Kenya, progress to AFCON Under-20 quarterfinals. And on www.diamondfm.net, you can also keep up to date via our social media pages. Do stay with us.
The major talking points in Nigeria are always on the lips of the citizens.
What's going on in this country? Look at smaller countries taking lead, and you call yourself giant of Africa.
You see, when you look at our democratic journey, we are yet to practice genuine democratic system in Nigeria.
Join us on Mondays to Friday on the DBS from 9 to 10 a.m. The Diamond Breakfast Show, amplifying the voice of the people.
Hour of 9. Good morning and thank you for coming on the program. The program is Diamond Breakfast Show, where we unpack salient political matters and issues that concerns Nigeria. I am Nedu Okori. You're welcome this morning. And joining me this morning in the Nigerian Police Force. And you can also be a part of our conversation. Call the studio lines on 09136556952. Also note that every thought and opinion aired on this platform are the thoughts of our listeners and also our guest. It does not in any way reflect the opinion of Diamond FM. The conversation about whether the NYSC still fits in today's socioeconomic realities. And the Minister of Youth and Sport, who spoke at the inauguration, Ayodele Olawande, said that the committee will look into how NYSC will work, prove technical and vocational, skills training. And Mr. Sukomi, let's quickly look at the relevance of this in the scheme, in today's reality, what the youths actually need now. The purpose of
the scheme, when you look at the major rationale behind the creation of the scheme, you will realize that to a very large extent, the goal can be said, to have been achieved to a very large extent. You understand me? So, but there are feelers out there, or let me say, there are skeptics out there who believe that, the NYSC has outlived its usefulness, and as a result, it should be scrapped.
Okay.
When you look at that, the argument said it is a bit parochial. But if you are to look at everything, if you are to have a realistic and a holistic view on what's called inquisition, launch it into that particular scheme, you realize that as much as you can speak about the negative part, or let me say how it has negatively impacted the youth. You understand what I'm saying? You would have 1,000 more reasons to appreciate what it has brought about within Nigeria. If you look at the division, the ethnic before now, or let me say when the scheme came on board, that was in 1970. So for me, to a very large extent, I would say it's a welcome idea. You understand what I'm saying? In terms of trying to reimagine it, the way the minister is advocating for.
Yeah.
So for me, I believe NYC is a scheme that should be sustained.
All right. Thank you so much for that submission. Well, looking at it from the angle of living up to its expectations, who served as a core member. Well, they've provided various initiatives like the side program, to ensure that corps members engage in vocational skills. But has that really been helpful? Because it seems as though the number of unemployment keeps on increasing based on statistics.
Let's say more like the employment initiative of the NYC is just more like an interim what's it called policy. It's not something that should sustain that beyond just the employment what's it called the employment level or which people are complaining about. He has gone further to look for a way to also create more like he said, in the subsequent adoption or the subsequent reimagination of that of the scheme, it will integrate or incorporate a common, let's say more like as a whole, we're about 300,000 if I'm not mistaken, but amongst them you have just less than 58,000 what do they call it, doctors. You understand what I'm saying? So to a population of about 250 million people, aside the fact that it is below, the World Health Organization prescription, you understand what I'm saying? It is also ridiculous when you put us, side to side, with other countries of the world, to 30, what they call it, medical doctors alone. You understand what I'm saying? So now look at the whole composition of the healthcare system itself. Okay. We're talking about the midwives. You understand what I'm saying? And what do they call it? Other specification
workers,
pediatrics and the likes. You come to realize that it's the Nigerian healthcare system is understaffed. So this policy will help to bridge that gap. In talking about the education sector too, you realize that we're also running at deficit. You understand what I'm saying? We are not even anywhere close to United Nations educational what's it called, scientific and cultural organizations prescription. We are not even up to we don't even have a specific data as to the number of teachers that we have. So but we know that we are really short of teachers and quality teachers for that matter. So no better scheme will actually help us to address such situation than what Ayo Wisdom or Ayo Dilio Lawande, like you called him, is proposing.
Well, okay. The Minister of Education also proposed it, and if you look at these two major sectors, the education sector as well as the health sector, it's a sector of an economy that the workforce in these sectors are meant to be well remunerated. That is, when compared to other climes. These set of people are those who are well respected, well paid, and I think this should also be incorporated, because if you look at this, the areas of where they are meant to be assigned to, rural areas, do you think Nigerian youths, core members, will be willing to go there, depending on whatever amount they are being paid?
That is the reason why I would also suggest that we should de-emphasize the issue of remuneration as much as important as it is.
But that
it
is
should
important.
Be de-emphasized. We should look at it from this point of view.
Okay.
It is to promote, aside the fact that I promote national integration, it is also to, as a way of, a service to humanity, which is the greatest service that anybody can ever hope for. You understand? When you look at the kind of discrepancy that exists within our health sector between urban areas and rural areas, you would actually give kudos to the lead what's it called, idealist. You understand what I'm saying, of that particular idea. You understand what I'm saying? In states like Lagos, you would have, I think the total, as mega as it is, I think we have about 5,000 doctors in state like Lagos, and just nearby, less than 190 kilometers away in Oyo State, we have a paltry sum of about 940 something doctors, just doctors alone. Then if you now go further to look at other aspects of the health sector, you will realize that we are understaffed. You understand me? So, and for us to do that, we have to employ this scheme, or should I say, idealize this scheme and implement it in such a way that, people would see a reason. You understand what I'm saying?
Other than remuneration.
Exactly. Because if we are to make it, same as though monetary inducement is the only thing that should serve as a factor here, we would actually dissuade a lot of people from going further, because there's no amount of money that can be paid for a service rendered by anybody. I love to say that a lot. It's actually, my own motto. I believe service is not just when you serve people or when you serve. You understand what I'm saying? It's more like you enriching the society. You understand me? And at the same time developing yourself too. So this is the perspective I want us to actually look at it from.
Well, there are some who will argue with this perspective and say that the root cause of all this is as a result of government policies or unstable policies that have made professionals in the health and education sector to leave the country in droves, and this has actually depreciated the workforce. Some will argue that if remuneration is not a motive to grabbing this opportunity, then what else should be a motive? Is it patriotism? But
exactly, patriotism can also serve as, you understand what I'm saying, as the driving factor, because I think one of the reasons why, or one of the problems we have, is that we don't actually have a national value that we all subscribe to, and that is the reason why most times what majorly determines the substance of every relationship in our country is monetary in nature. Understand me? In a society where we have, people who believe in the national consciousness, this won't actually be a hard policy or a hard scheme to sell.
Well, many will agree with you concerning this perspective that we don't have a national value or national consciousness, so to say. Well, some would say that our leaders made this so.
Yeah, no, yes. You see, there's no way you actually want to visualize is that our leaders would not, bear the brunt.
Yeah.
You understand me? The successive governments or successive leaders, let me say it, leaders we've been reproducing leaders in Nigeria, but we keep on recycling the same, thought process. We are talking about people with jaded ideas. I'm really sorry to say, but I have to say jaded ideas who don't see, what's it called, a call to service, or let me say, their responsibility as a leader, as a call to serve the people. You understand what I'm saying? A lot of them believe it's a call to serve themselves. So the leaders, with their policies, also have contributed to a very large extent. But if we are to concentrate on the failures of the leaders, we will be taking our eyes off the ball, and that is the problem we have in this country. Yes, the thing is, leaders are pulled from the pool of the people. You understand what I'm saying? The leadership of a country or a society is the sum total of the reflection of the society. If we have, leaders who are pulled, who are not imported, you understand what I'm saying, acting in this way from this pool, that tells you there's something wrong with our society which we need to fix.
All right, so right now we should carve out a national value and run with it and propagate it.
Outlook. Yes, it will serve a lot of purpose. Coupled with this scheme, you understand what I'm saying, which I believe, with the way it is being reimagined, I'm talking about the NYC, will be a perfect blend.
All right, thank you so much. At this point, let's permit our listeners at home to add their thoughts and opinion. The number to call is 0913 655 6952. 0913 655 6952. You can also drop your message via WhatsApp on 0913 655 6864. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, please. Good morning.
Bamdele is Fanema calling from up.
You're welcome, Mr. Bamdele.
Your guest has said it. Don't have national consciousness. We are not patriotic. That's the truth. If you look at the war in Ukraine, if it were to be Nigerians, there will be no single person in Nigeria to treat.
Earnestly.
The war, this boxing man, I've forgotten his name.
Vladimir Klitschko.
Yes, Klitschko. Not only him, the one who defeated our son. Immediately the war started, that man went back to his country.
You sick?
Wow. Yes, thank you very much. You sick. But even many athletes who were Ukrainians left the country they were, moved to Ukraine. In that dangerous situation, we should not put monetary interest above any other interest. No matter where you are, home is home. You'll be treated like a stranger, and you will never feel comfortable as if you are in Nigeria. Let them remain there so that we'll build it together. Right. If you run away, how do you expect, how will you be blaming government to do it again? It's not possible. God bless Nigeria.
Thank you so much, Mr. Bamidelege, for your submission. Keep your calls coming in 0913-655-6952. And we've got some messages. This one from Adeyemi says, whatever reorganization that is needed to bring a new and transformative life to the scheme is a welcome idea. In actual fact, the reorganization is long overdue. However, all roads leading to this reorganization must be seen to be transparent and devoid of needless manipulations. Finally, the national cohesion the scheme represents must be respected, sustained, and be made more productive. Thank you so much, Elder Yemi. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Hello, good morning. What's your name? All right, kindly call us back 0913 655 6952. Sakaunio Moritala. Okay. All right. Thank you so much for your message. Hello, good morning.
Yes.
Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. All right. Oh, 0913-655-6952. That's the number to call. You can also send your WhatsApp message via 0913-655-6864. Well, still talking about national unity and integration from the angle of the NYSC. Let's still look at a broader perspective about Nigeria's educational system, because the scheme actually, it's like a graduation phase. That's for those who have left the school. Let's look at Nigeria's educational system, and coupled with the news we heard some days ago about the what is it called, JAMB and all that. What do you make of the whole system? The number of applicants keeps on increasing, while the number of success rate keeps on reducing.
I think what's it called, the JAMB results.
Yeah.
You understand, the recent one is actually a perfect justification for the relevance of that policy. You understand me, right? It is a perfect one because when you look at the decline, that would tell you, that would tell you the rate at which we've actually slid, let's say, as a country, that we've retrogressed, education-wise, as a country. You understand me? Yeah, a lot of factors have been, adduced, as a result for, the decline. You understand what I'm saying? In terms of the academic performance of, younger ones.
Yeah.
But, a lot of people, some said it's the social media, and you understand what I'm saying? But for me, I have this, theory and this belief about it that, aside that teachers, we're actually not looking at the teachers, the role of the teachers.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying? What is the quality of teachers that we have? Who are those, who are those handling the formative years of our younger ones? Because I say this, there's no way you would seek to have, let's say more like build or develop innovators that, without having a very firm foundation for them. So when you have people who are not qualified enough, you understand what I'm saying, handling this sensitive and formative years of, awards.
Yeah.
You understand me? The outputs won't be different from what we are getting. You understand me? Even looking at the figures, you understand what I'm saying? You will see how ridiculous the trend has been from COVID-19 up to this very moment that we're talking about. It's been, let me say, a decline down the hill. You understand me? So we have to actually, embrace this policy, to be precise, and encourage the minister to push it through so that we can use that to bridge this gap.
Right.
We are talking about qualified graduates here, you understand what I'm saying, who are going to be enlisted into the teaching corps. These are people with the capacity, the requisite capacity to you understand what I'm saying, to teach, you understand what I'm saying, because I believe there would also be a developmental program which is to help some of them, who are not, or should I say, who did not go to school, or who were not educationists per se. You get me right? So if we can have it in such manner, it would actually help us. It will be solving two problems at once.
All right. Thank you so much for that germane answer. Let's quickly take a break, and when we come back, we'll look at other topics and also take more reactions from our listeners at home. The program is still Diamond Breakfast Show with Nedu Okori. I'll be right back.
Diamond 88.7 FM.
Dìde kára ó lè, dìde kára ó lè. Ó yá lè dànù, orí fífọ́ lè dànù, ara ríro lè dànù, òtútù ibà lè dànù. For fast relief of cold pain, fever and headache. dìde kára ó lè kókó.
ẹ sọ fún ẹ̀fọ́ ní òtútù yìí bàtàrà ríro kí wọ́n kán lùgbọ́ one time kára ó lè ti dé o àgbáwọlé ní iṣẹ́ ni àkàwọlé ń tè kan koríko tẹ́lẹ̀ bá ti tẹ òtún gbérí mọ́ dìde kára ó lè lúbúlúbú funfun pẹ̀ ìrúkù sarajọ mẹ́ra yágágá àjàká kò tí sọkọ fún ẹ̀fọ́ ní òtútù yìí bàtàrà ríro lágọ̀ ara káì kàṣàkàṣà knockout agbára ju agbára lọ dìde kára ó lè jagunla bí olùgbòǹgbò gàjàtọ̀ ara jàtọ̀ kìtìlẹ̀ ẹgbẹ́ ìlúra kẹgbà to Yield Pharmaceutical Industries Limited àwọn tó lórúkọ tó ṣe é gbẹ́kẹ̀lé níbi kápò oògùn òyìnbó ló ṣe é bára rẹ ò bá yá lẹ́yìn ọjọ́ mẹ́ta má ṣàfihàn o kàn sí dókítà rẹ.
Cross State Internal Revenue Service (KWIRS) notifies the general public of the commencement of registration for the 2025 Task Loss Quiz competition for secondary schools in Kwara State. Interested secondary schools in the state, both public and private, are enjoined to visit KWIRS Task Club portal via www.taskclub.kwirs.site to complete the expression of interest form between 1st and 30th of May 2025. Registration shall be strictly online and shall not be extended. The competition timetable will be communicated to successful schools via email and SMS from 9th to 11th June 2025. Schools are to note that the round 1 and round 2 stages of the competition will hold online as computer-based tests, which shall be written by the students in the respective schools across the 3 senatorial districts of the state between 16th and 20th of June 2025. Details of semi-finals and the final stages shall be communicated in due course. For further inquiries, schools can send email to taskclub@kw-irs.com or call 0700-6959-477. This message is from the Cross State Internal Revenue Service, KWIRS. Play your part, pay your tax.
Hello there. Looking for fun, laughter, entertainment, dance, trend, want to mingle or connect, some relaxation, and many more? Search no further. Diamond Amusement Park, located at Plot 2 New Yidi Road, Ilori, is where you get those. We've got pendulum, carousels, rocket launcher, roller coaster, Oculus Quest, swimming pool, table tennis, bumper car, swing, seesaw, horse merry-go-round, slides, lawn tennis, video games PS4, piggy cart, to mention few. Feel that adrenaline rush as I list our game. Want to celebrate your child's birthday, graduation, reunion, get together, or want to surprise your friend, partner, or family? Come visit Diamond Amusement Park today and you'll be glad you did. Refreshment is available at affordable rate. Gate fee is 500 naira. For further inquiry, call 080-2677-3152 or visit Plot 2 New Yidi Road, Ilori. Diamond Amusement Park, truly home of unlimited fun.
Follow us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Diamond887FM. Diamond FM, shining supreme.
All right, you're still listening to Diamond 88.7 FM, and this is still Diamond Breakfast Show with Nedu Okori, and my guest has been Mr. Sukami Tobijan, and we've been discussing on, the repositioning and reformation of the NYSC as proposed by the Minister of Youth and Youth Development and the Minister of Education. Quickly, let's move on to our second conversation, which is related to the internal crisis rocking the Labour Party. And we'll also look at why, the opposition party seems to be crashing. That's talking about the Labour Party, the PDP, NNPP, and all other oppositions. And it seems as though the APC seems to be standing strong. And the recent development is that the Labour Party has announced the indefinite suspension of 6 prominent members. And this includes the Abia State Governor, Alex Oti, Senator Darlington Wakocha, Senator Ireti Kingibe, Victor Ogene, Amobi Oga, and Sheyi Showumi, all over alleged anti-party activities. And this decision followed the recommendation of a 5-man disciplinary committee set up on May 2nd. And it takes immediate effect, and it bars them from participating in any Labour Party activity. The party also addressed the omission of Nenandi Usman from the suspension list, and they stated that she is not a registered member of the Labour Party, but just a supporter of Mr. Peter Obi, in the 2023 election. The party also reaffirmed its stance on any or on not involving itself in any political alliance ahead of 2027. Now, this move has created, like I say, a counter move by Nanande Usman, and she has launched a probe into Julius Abure over allegations of corruption, misappropriation of party funds, and anti-party activities. Well, all this all this is going on in the Labour Party, and yesterday the former president Goodluck Jonathan made a statement, and he's warning that the current administration, APC administration, should not turn Nigeria into a one-party state through political manipulation, as some individuals have been, pointing hands at the APC for all these manipulations going on in the PDP and also in the Labour Party. But I would like to know what your thought is regarding, first, what is going on in the Labour Party. Let's look at all this. And the Abia State governor actually stated that he was not involved in anti-party activities. He was just celebrating with the Imo State governor, Hope Uzodinma, during his daughter's birthday or one celebration like that. But I would like to hear your thoughts.
Let's say again, the fate of the opposition is something that calls, the attention that should interest the attention of all well-meaning Nigerians.
Yeah.
And for me, particularly, I wouldn't be putting the blame on the APC per se. You understand me?
Okay.
Like I would say, looking at what is happening within the Labour Party, you can see a pure justification, or you see what exactly the reality is within the ranks of the opposition. The Labour Party has not been able to get its act together. Let me even say this: even before the election, they were not able to, approach the 2023 election as a united front. You understand me? Because there's a difference between the what's it called, personality cult, which propelled what do they call him, Mr. Peter Obi, to political limelight in Nigeria, and the political fortune of the platform which he is employing, which is the party, the Labour Party.
Yeah.
So that's what's it called, the asymmetry is what is reflecting in the party up to date. I think he was not able to mobilize, or let me say, integrate the party into the value of what his movement is all about.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying? So the failure to do that has created a leadership gap. You understand what I'm saying? Within the party, we are talking about a situation whereby a man stands, Peter Obi stands on one side, and the party is on another side. That is a recipe for calamity or disaster. He actually gave that opportunity for the opposition to exploit. You understand what I'm saying? So it is easy to, in Nigeria, the Nigerian party politics, or the Nigerian government structure, or let me say the election structure, does not really recognize what do they call it, a candidate.
Yeah.
A candidate is only considered as one if the candidate is presented by a party. So that party, is something that you cannot just fiddle with. For you to actually achieve anything as a politician or as a leader, you must first of all take care of your party. I'm so sorry, I'll say this again. I love to cite the current president as an example when he was in the opposition. Don't let us forget that Yar'Adua made advances at him after the 2011 election, calling for a government of national unity. He almost fell for it, but thank God he had people around him to advise him against considering such a what's it called, idea. You understand me? So let's assume if there was a what do they call it? If there's a distance, or let me say, if it was detached, or if it were detached from what do they call it? The party at the time. The president, I'm talking about President Yar'Adua, wouldn't have made advances at him. What the president would have done is just to make use of the levers of his party to fight him. But he did not create that loophole. You understand what I'm saying? So that is what the leadership, the failure to do that by Mr. Peter Obi is the reason why what do they call it? The Labour Party is where it is today. Listen to what his stalwart, those who left him, his foot soldiers who left him, listen to what they are saying. Listen to Mr. Ken Okonkwo, to be precise. Listen to him. What did he say? There's this guy also, I want to remember his name, he's from the North Central. He's a very young man, he's a very famous obedient obedient too. You understand what I'm saying? Which they call Obi's supporter.
Yeah.
Very famous. He alluded to the same leadership problem. You understand me? So I think the inability to convert his popularity cult, I'm talking about Mr. Peter Obi in this instance, to a support for his political party is why we are here. Assuming a Peter Obi with the sort of force he pulled in the last election, consolidated on that by ensuring that there is no distinction between him and his political party. By now, he would be a power broker in the sense that there's nothing this government would do without even consulting him. Even in terms of appointment, the government will consult him. You understand what I'm saying? Just to get his maybe he would have a candidate or two to actually give to the cabinet. But the fact that he was unable, there's a disunity between him and the party. It was easy for the current incumbent government to reach out to his full. I'm talking about his party member and get them over to his side. And I tell you, this is pure politics. You understand what I'm saying? Politics is a game of number. Your opposition will never wait for you. You understand what I'm saying? We'll never wait for you to regroup and fight back, or should I say, we'll never wait for you to win them, defeat them in an election. They would always look for every opportunity to ensure that they defeat you. So understanding this reality is what has prevented Labour Party and Mr. Peter Obi by implication to be that national leader. You understand what I'm saying? That everyone would have considered for Labour Party.
In other words, you feel he did not assert his dominance.
It's not about asserting dominance per se.
Okay.
You see, I'm talking about, if you're talking about asserting dominance, it might seem as though we are talking about him having to be the person who, more like the be-all and the end-all of the party. No, what we are saying is there's a way he could have marshaled his team with the party alongside the party to move in unison. But what we are seeing is a situation where Mr. Peter Obi is moving, the party is straddling behind it.
Do you feel in the 2023 election, the creation of that nomenclature, the obedient or the Obi movement, created this loophole?
No, that was actually an advantage. But he failed to convert it. You understand what I'm saying? He failed to convert
and carry the party members
should
along.
I say he failed to make that movement, a party thing. Even if you remember, immediately after the election, some of his supporters went online, those who supported him, and they were talking about how they were not Labour Party members, like they were for Mr. Peter Obi, that wherever he goes, they go. That is where he should have moved in to ensure that there's no distinction between the party and the Labour Party. And that fissure, the prevention of that fissure would have given him that influence. Thank you. I think that is the right word. The influence. You understand what I'm saying? To inspire the party to, if we had someone else, not him.
All right. Thank you so much for your submission. Still talking about opposition and coalition, and what many APC stalwarts and chieftains have mentioned. They've stated categorically that no coalition, no matter who is a member of the coalition, no coalition can unseat Tinubu come 2027. And many Nigerians have also attested or alluded that the way it is right now in Nigeria, that no opposition can unseat.
That's a political statement.
Yes.
I tell you this.
I would love to know your opinion.
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu can be defeated. I can tell you it's a fact.
Okay,
you understand what I'm saying? Yes, he can be defeated. But I won't be the one to say that on there. He can be defeated. He's defeatable. But you see, by creating that mentality, by making people believe that, this is it. You can't do this. You are, in a way, patterning the people not to see any other option. And the opposition also have bought that narrative. They think the narrative is working in their favor by saying, that it's tilting towards a one-party state. But I tell you, it will tell negatively on the party, on the fortune of the opposition going forward. It will tell on them. Because when you create that belief that this is the only option, the people will be, even some those who would have voted against them will rather stay back at home and not vote than to go and cast their vote. So this is where the opposition needs to come alive and take ownership of their flaws. The same mistake, the same what's it called? The same blame that situated within the purview of Mr. Peter Obi. That same thing can also be found. What do they call it? The former vice president Atiku Abubakar also is also guilty of the same thing. The former president, you can look at his trajectory. Is only a party man whenever an election comes. Before now, you would hardly hear him campaigning for his party candidates in other jurisdictions, in other states. Go back again, check the history of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu from Lagos to Ekiti, from Ekiti to Osun, from Osun to Ondo, from Ondo to Edo, from Edo. Do you know he made inroad to the North Central? He was in Kogi.
Yes.
You understand what I'm saying?
He was on the road.
You understand me? Then talk about his impact and influence in the North too. He did not just, motivated, or should I say galvanize his financial war chest in support of those candidates, but he made himself readily available to those candidates. You understand me?
So, I apologize. Let's take this reaction, please.
All right.
Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, this is Abayomi from Ilorin.
You're welcome, Mr. Abayomi.
Kudos to the studio.
Thank you.
You are saying it as it is. You see, presently, I will not blame the president for the misfortune of all opposition parties. They only met more than what they bargained for. They have a man that can beat them to their game at the moment. Because the president knows the grandstanding attitude of most of our politicians and is using it against every one of them. And he will keep using it until after 2027, because I see no party having peace until after 2027 election. That's just the bitter truth. You see, it is very difficult for anybody to eat patience. Even though they cook it for anybody, it will be very difficult to eat it. Like many of them used to tell us, be patient, be patient. Many of them cannot be patient. You see, now, when you say our politicians, Asiwaju can be defeated, just like the guest said. But can they make the sacrifice that will make him to be defeated? No. Many of us brought the sentiment that when power shifts from the north, it should come to the south. This same thing is what Atiku fought for in 2014, 2015. Now, that same thing is exactly what he is working against again in 2023. And in 2027, he's still getting ready to be the sole candidate. Will it work? Many of us like this, we prefer to even say, let him continue since he wants to come. And besides, what is his trajectory? He has been a vice president. What has he done for Nigeria? Antecedent is always there. And this is one of the questions we need to be asking these politicians so that we put them on their toes. What are your antecedents? When Obi is coming out now, Obi has been a governor for 8 years in Anambra. Asiwaju has been a governor for 8 years in Lagos State. I will compare the two states. What has been their advantage in their various states? What has been the peace? What has been the development? And we can all see. And this is one of the bases that I will score a politician. If you are not doing that, I won't score you nice. I will not see a Tinubu, see an Atiku, see an Obi, and vote for Atiku and Obi. I won't. Not because I'm a Yoruba man. I don't care which language you speak. I don't care which religion I believe I want development. I don't know Asiwaju from anywhere. I'm bearing the brunt of all his policies. But bring someone that can do something differently. Not someone that will say, we will.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Abayomi. Let's permit others to add their thoughts. The number to call is 09136556952. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
All right. You're welcome back,
Your
Mr.
guest
Bandeli.
impresses me all the time. He has said it. There's a problem with Atiku and Obi. Immediately after election, they still believe 2023 election is not yet won. It's not yet lost. So they continue in that form. Obi now abandoned the movement. He abandoned Labour Party. Was trying to woo people who are not in the party or in the movement to his side. So when you abandon you can see what will happen. Atiku, he believed this is his last chance and he must be the president. So that has made it very easy for Tinubu. Let me tell you, like that Mr. Abayomi said, till today, even though with this insecurity, I'm not impressed with Tinubu at all. But put three of them, I would rather vote for Tinubu. Because they are not talking of what they will do better. They are rather talking of, taking over power. Taking over power for what? Must Atiku be president? Must Atiku be president?
All right.
You can see in America, this Clinton's wife, she contested. She almost she won the majority election. If it were to be in Nigeria, that woman will still continue to contest. So Atiku, with his age and everything, I expect him to become a statesman.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Bamidelege, for your submission. Our time is fast spent. Let me rush through the messages I've got here. This one says NYSC is 52 years old. The scheme ought to be reviewed every 10 to 15 years. Today, we needed the scheme to tackle issues such as security, technological, and agricultural development among the challenges being faced in the country. We need the youths to meet or be a solution. This is according to David Danielu from Ilorin. All right. Mr. Peter from Tanker says the APC is an ill wind that blows political party diversity no good. APC is a smart worm. Right from the beginning, the APC was crafted and geared towards dismantling other political parties, starting with the PDP. That agenda is getting clearer now. All right. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, please. Good morning. What's your name?
This is Dr. Larry Kiki.
All right, quickly. All right, you're welcome. You have just 30 seconds. Go ahead.
What I saw in this fighting for the position of power, all these politicians, my own view is that if to say they have already taken the position of power, are they ready to do the will and the expression of the masses in this country rather than their own self-interest? That is what is paining somebody. When they reach that place, are they ready to do the will and the electioneering, what they say in the electioneering campaign? So that was what is training somebody in this issue.
All right. Thank you so much for your submission. The last message I'll be taking right now from Elder Yemi. It says the Labour Party is one house of commotion where intrigues play out regularly. Some of these political parties are only out to grab power and not contribute anything meaningful to the growth and development of this country. I cannot fathom why people should be heaping blames on APC for harvesting defectors from these unstable parties. If Peter Obi can do half of what he's doing on social media to help the Labour Party, I think the party will achieve more stability. INEC should, as a matter of urgency, come out with the faction that is recognized by law. Labour Party members should reduce their noise making and concentrate more on building the party. The religion agenda that gave Labour significant votes in 2023 has been allayed. Anybody can be defeated, but the right approach to achieve that goal must be put in place. As far as I am concerned, no coalition yet on ground to whittle down Tinubu's influence. This is a long epistle from Elder Yemi. Well, just pointing towards you have rightly mentioned. Well, let's just hope that come 2027, the right leader will emerge, whether the present administration or an opposition. That is what most Nigerians are hoping and praying for. Well, let's quickly touch on our last conversation, then we call it a day. Our time is fast spent. We have less than 5 minutes. Let's look at the act of professional misconduct in the Nigerian police force, as various footages, viral videos have emerged online that described where the unprofessional conduct of law enforcement officers, and the police force spokesman Muyiwa Adejobi has reacted to this, and he said that those officers in question have been summoned and that their cases will be taken up. And this involved officers in Benin City, Edo State, and a traffic officer in the FCT who were seen, carrying out their duties unprofessionally and raining insultive words to some Nigerian citizens. And the force spokesman actually mentioned that this complaint about high-handedness will be really looked into to tackle it. Now, let's look at all this. Many would say that the training is inadequate and all that, and all these punitive measures being meted on these officers, do they really go a long way in curbing this unprofessionalism quickly, then we call it a day, sir?
Well, let's say we are not dealing with the root cause and the major issue that we are facing with the Nigerian police.
Yeah.
Why is it that we have the replication of the same behavior across board? You complain about the Nigerian police in Kwara State about a certain behavior, you find the same behavior in Kogi, you find it in Delta. It tells about the value reorientation of that particular organization. The Nigerian police force, the uniform alone represents an idea that transcends even those wearing it. You understand me? It is a noble profession that the best of us ought to be the one taking up. You understand me? But it's so sad. I wouldn't say the dregs of the society are the ones in the Nigerian police force, but I need them to act accordingly, appropriately, in a professional manner, other than what we are hearing for me, to disbelieve, that thought. You understand me? So the Nigerian police, to a very large extent, have not been that professional. You understand me? And it boils down also to the policy, no doubt. The government too has really not, done anything to improve the lot of the Nigerian policemen. You know what I'm saying? In terms of the welfare. But aside that, it is a noble institution, a reputable institution that anyone who wears that uniform must carry a sense of pride as serving the country. This is what is missing. If we had such a police of that orientation, I'm very sure that not even a million naira will be able to convince a policeman to act unprofessionally. But what do we have? All it takes is just maybe few nairas, and I tell you whatever you want. You understand me?
But comrade, many citizens are quick to judge the police, but there are certain unprofessional conduct of some citizens that trigger this officers to act in certain ways.
When we have isolated issues, I believe the complaint will not be this much. It's not an isolated issue. It has become the norm. It has become the norm. Now, when you see a policeman being professional in his conduct, it seems like, you'll be surprised. You understand me? What should be the norm has now become,
a thing of surprise.
A thing of surprise or a spectacle per se. You understand me? So the reason why so many people are against that, or the reason why so many people are complaining, is because we no longer have the few bad eggs. What we have now is the majority, the preponderance of bad eggs, and the very few good ones.
All right.
So there's need for, aside the fact that what's it called, the recalibration of the force and its operating procedure, we need a value reorientation of the Nigerian police personnel.
All right.
It's very essential. And please, I think I need to quickly chip this in before we go. This is a reputable media house, and we must set the record straight at all times. President, when you listen to the comments of former President Goodluck Jonathan, there was never a place where the president warned. What the president did was a suggestion that it is possible. It has been done elsewhere, but if we are to do it, it must be done accordingly, appropriately.
All right. So he did not warn.
He has not delved into the political arena before people start coming for him.
All right. Thank you so much for that clarification, Mr. Sukomi. Toby John, thank you for coming on the program. And to everyone who participated this morning, I really appreciate you. Thank you.
It's always my pleasure.
All right. My name remains Nedu Okorie. Join us tomorrow for another exciting and interesting edition of Diamond Breakfast Show with Precious Afolabi. Have a wonderful day.
Hour after hour of quality programming all around the clock. With us, every second and minute counts. When it comes to bringing you the best of programming on radio, Diamond 88.7 FM remains your best bet. Be it sport, talk radio, entertainment and music. One thing is certain, we've got you.